Hello and welcome to Stinger Diecast. Today we're going to take a look at some cars from a brand which to me as a US based collector is virtually unknown. And this is a brand called Siku. And Siku is actually a very old company. They've been around since 1921 and they started making toys in 1950. But in the United States, we do not get this brand at all. They actually withdrew from the U.S. market in 2010 because of legislation that was passed in 2008 that affected something about toys that they decided that they didn't like, and I guess they weren't doing well enough in the U.S. market to make it worth bothering with, so they completely withdrew. So these cars are completely unavailable to us in the U.S. So the cars that I have in front of me came to me in a very generous gift from Chris at CRA Diecast. So a big thank you to Chris, and I'm very excited to finally get to take a closer look at this brand of cars and show them off on the channel. So, you know, Siku is definitely a toy brand. These are not going to be, you know, super high-end, detailed replicas of cars, but they are realistic enough that they are pretty cool. From what I can see with these, they're very similar to Majorette. That's probably the closest parallel that I can draw. Obviously, Majorette is another brand that has very limited distribution in the United States, but they are available here, at least. They're just very hard to find. But anyway, let's get started. So Sikus have this very cool packaging where you just flip out a little tab and then you can slide the card out and then take the car out of the package, and then you can actually put the car back in the package very easily, which I think is a pretty cool thing. Obviously, I'm a loose car collector, so I don't typically keep things in packages, but I think that's a nice feature. So this to me is actually a pretty cool element of what you get with these cars. So this is a BMW 750i, and Siku has, on a lot of their castings, they do opening doors, which really open. Look at that. they certainly open very wide. This does have lensed headlights, and then it has painted detail for the taillights and a trailer hitch, which is kind of a funny feature of this. These do not have suspension, but it does seem to have a fairly nice interior in there. Again, these are very similar to what you would get with a Majorette, except for the lack of suspension. They are not true to any particular scale. As we look at these, we'll see that some of these are quite large. So they're probably, you know, in the 150, 155 scale, probably in that area, more than 164 scale, which is another characteristic that they share with Majorette. This one's maybe not too far off of 1/64th. It doesn't seem to be too terribly large. And it does get a cast-in license plate here, which is kind of cool. It has it on the back as well. And then on the bottom of the car, they have some specifications, like about the car itself, the size of the engine, and the power, and various other specs there. Looks like 5.2 liter engine, top speed of 250 kilometers per hour, which is kind of an interesting thing that's pretty unique to Siku. So overall, this is very nice. I think this is a very cool car, and you know, like I said, it makes me think of, you know, a Majorette. Feels very similar to a Majorette, and, you know, plastic base, metal body, similar kind of thing. So, okay, moving on. The next one we have is this Apollo IE, and this is an example of where the castings are a little bit large, because this is definitely if you were to compare this to a 1/64 scale version of this car, this is definitely going to be larger. I apologize, I'm putting this packaging back together because I haven't decided if I'm going to throw it away or not. I may actually keep these in the package. But this is a very cool car. hypercar. This one has opening gull wing doors. The red interior. It's a right-hand drive. Not a lot of detail in the interior on this one, but the car itself looks pretty cool. It's a pretty high-tech looking vehicle. Back end looks nice. This one just has painted headlights and a logo here on the hood, but it's very cool. And again, it has the specifications on the bottom. Top speed of 355 kilometers an hour. So it's a very fast car. Very cool. And Chris also sent me a motorcycle, which is cool. I don't really collect motorcycles, but I do have a few, and they are kind of a fun thing to have. So this is a BMW R1200 GS, and it has a little fold. The kickstand thingy folds in. These do not stand on their own like the Hot Wheels motorcycles try to do, but it's a more accurate version than a typical Hot Wheels would be. It has rubber tires, and it has many more parts, it seems. Separate windshield piece and the forks pivot and so on. So like I said, I don't really collect motorcycles, but it's cool. I like it. Very cool. And then we get the Renwagen, which is a racing car. So this is obviously a very toy-like model, but the interesting thing is that, you know, since I'm a bit of a fan of Formula One, and this is obviously inspired by a Formula One car, it was very apparent to me that when I saw this that yeah, this is based on a Ferrari Formula One car, and in fact this is very clearly based on this. This is a Ferrari F310 from 1996. Yeah, 1996, and you know, it's very you have to look at it carefully to see the similarities. But if you look at the nose shape and look at the shape of the winglets in here and the shape of the suspension and then the way that this rear wing is treated, the way that it extends, that's a very unique characteristic of these particular cars. And even the rear, the way the shape of the rear diffuser and what have you. So they base this on the real car. It's very abstracted, you know, because it is a toy, versus this. This is the Kyosho, which is, you know, a much more accurate, or attempting to be a more accurate collector model, versus this, which is, you know, a toy. This is intended to be played with. But it's cool. It has rubber tires, I think. And at least it has a driver in there, which is kind of cool. And so it's just fun. Just a fun vehicle, but based on a real car. So that's kind of interesting. Next up, we have this Lotus Elise. This one's really nice. It's very cool metallic green color. Has black wheels. This is something, if you watch Chris's channel, every time he gets a Siku, a lot of them have these gray wheels, like this one. And the first thing he always does when he gets a Siku with these grayish wheels is to, or maybe it's like these, is to paint them black. So the ones that come with the wheels already black are pretty nice. So this one appears to not have any moving parts, no opening doors or any other hatches. So just a basic metal body, plastic base. Seems that these do have rubber tires, but this one's really cool. So it does get lensed headlights and a nice painted rear end, and again, cast in license plate, which apparently that's a characteristic of Siku castings. I guess they do that quite often. I like this one a lot. This is very cool. I like the color. I like that it has black wheels. This probably would not look very good if it had the gray wheels, but but very cool. All right. Next is the Porsche 911 Turbo S Cabriolet. And this is definitely an example of the castings being quite large. This one is definitely not 1/64 scale or even close, but it looks very nice. Headlights look pretty good. I got that cast-in license plate again. Black wheels, rubber tires. Interior's not too bad. And painted details on the back. So, very cool. And top speed on this is 330 kilometers an hour. It's a nice model. It's definitely cool. I was gonna try to see if I had a, oh I do, yeah. Let's see if we can grab a 1/64 scale Porsche to compare. So obviously these are not even close to the same cars, but Porsches have gotten larger through time, but they haven't gotten this much larger. But this still is a cool model, as long as you don't put it next to a 1/64 scale model. We have the same situation with this one. It's Mercedes 300 SL. Nice gull-wing doors, red interior. Not a super detailed interior, so it's definitely a toy quality interior in there. Rubber tires and silver wheels. The silver wheels don't look too bad. Front end looks quite nice, actually. They did a good job on that. Again, a cast-in license plate, lensed headlights, nice painted details on the back. So it's a very cool model. Paneled gaps on these doors don't look great, but you know, that's what you get with these kind of things. Again, it's very large. Like we can look at this this Norev. Ooh, my backdrop falls. This has the same problem with the doors. But anyway, cool. It's a nice model. It's a little big, but that's what you get. And a fire truck. This is just says it's fire engine, but it's a Mercedes based truck for fire engine. Looks pretty cool. Not a whole lot of information on the bottom of this one, but it's a cool fire truck. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about that kind of thing. Then here we get the U.S. patrol car, which is funny that they just called it the U.S. patrol car because this is a Dodge Charger. And it even says Dodge Charger on the bottom. And it's not in any kind of real livery. This one's a little dusty. I mean, maybe this could be like the demonstrator livery that Dodge uses, but yeah, this one has painted headlights and painted taillights. Dodge logo. Does have opening doors, which is cool. Interior is nothing special about the interior to mark this as a police car. It looks just like the the typical road car interior. But it's kind of cool. Dodge Charger is definitely not my favorite car in the world. But I do like them as police cars. Next up is the Lamborghini Aventador LP700-4 in orange. This looks quite nice. You get a inserted or plastic headlights, rather large Lamborghini logo there on the hood, but nice Lamborghini on the back. Painted taillights look pretty good. Plastic tires, no opening parts, which is good. Plastic base. Yeah, this is a nice one. It's very similar to the Majorette Lamborghinis. Seems to be roughly about the same size as well, which is cool. Yeah, this one looks good. Very nice. Next up is a Porsche Carrera GT. I think this one has these gray wheels that Chris is always complaining about. They definitely not the best looking things in the world, but I don't know. They don't bother me as much as they seem to bother him. You get some inserted plastic headlights again. Fit on these is not perfect, but Porsche badge is maybe a little large. But Carrera GT on the back. Get some window piece over the engine. Not a whole lot of detail on the engine, but it's a cool model. This is a car I'm really not very familiar with. Top speed of 330 kilometers an hour. Is that opening doors? Yep. Yeah, they really open. Very wide. That's cool. Yeah, nice. I like this. Like it. All right, next, this very, very nice yellow Bentley GT V8 convertible. Getting lens headlights again. Nice grille, nice Bentley logo on the hood. Interior on this looks a little better than some of them. Have some quilted seats, quilted leather seats. No opening doors or anything. Oh, this plastic piece for the window. This one actually has inserted details for the tail lights. I think that's the first one of these we've seen with that. Black wheels. This is a very nice looking version of this car. This looks really good. Very cool. And then next we have the Mercedes SLS AMG Coupe, or Coupe, depending on how you would like to pronounce that. So this is going to be the modern version of the SL 300. Again, with gull wing doors, silver wheels. These probably could use some help to get a little bit more of a contrast there. Like if you were to paint the spokes, then it would look like it had a brake disc behind them. If you could do part of the rim as well or something. Get inserted headlights. Nice looking grille, cast in license plate again. Another, and this time again, inserted plastic tail lights. Yeah. Very cool. The doors on these definitely spoil it a little bit. This panel gap is definitely not very good. I don't think, for me, I think Majorette is kind of the king of doing opening parts without making them too offensive. But I don't know if they have this casting. Oh, I think, yeah, their version of this casting does not have opening doors. So I do have those, and they do not have opening doors. So, yeah. So that's probably the right decision on their part. Even though the gull wing doors are cool. You gotta admit, these cars, that is That is a pretty cool thing. They don't open as far as they really should, but all right, still, it's cool. Then we have BMW M4 Racing 2016. This to me looks like it's based on the M4 DTM car, which would make sense since Siku is a German brand and DTM is the German Touring Car Championship. Although they race around Europe, it's not just in Germany. Yeah, this is pretty decent looking. Painted details on the front. These cars would not actually have headlights. So DTM cars are just silhouette racers. So it's a, you know, it's a full race car. These cars are actually almost as high tech as Formula One cars with just a silhouette body on them. So they make them look like a BMW M4, but in reality, this is just a skin around a very high tech race car. And so they wouldn't have real headlights or anything like that. This particular model seems to sit a little bit too high. As you know, these race cars sit right on the ground because they are, you know, very, very aerodynamic. And there's a lot of downforce produced in these. So it's cool. And then one more, this is the Audi RS5 Racing. So this also appears to be based on the similar Audi DTM car. This one sits a little bit lower. The stance on this one's a little bit better. And a similar situation where, you know, this is a silhouette car, so it wouldn't have real headlights or anything. They do not race at night in these cars, as far as I know. Actually, you know, I shouldn't speak with too much authority on that. Maybe these do have headlights, because they do race in the rain. And they may require headlights when they race in the rain, but I don't know. I should know that. I love DTM, but I've never really paid attention to whether they have actual headlights or not. Yeah, this one's really cool. This looks really good. The stance is better. This one's, the stance is just a little bit off. A little bit off. Okay, cool. So we just have a couple more. So Bentley Continental GT V8. This nice purple color. And this one's definitely a case where these gray rims could be improved. The little paint help, because this car is a very nice car. Looks to be a quite nice casting. It's a bit dusty. Front end looks great. And yeah, overall it's very nice. You do get opening doors. Gray interior. These are riveted together. I was just thinking that if you could add some detail, paint some detail in this interior, that would be a win as well. These wheels definitely would look a little better if they were a different color. They had done these, you know, the black ones, like those would have definitely looked better on that. But it's a nice car. It's a nice casting. Otherwise, definitely dusty. Nice color. Cool. All right, and the last one, the BMW 640i Cabrio. This one is giant. Of all of these, this one is probably the most removed from 1/64 scale. I think this to me looks like it's maybe an older release from Siku. I don't know if they have any date or anything on these cards that tells you when they were made. I don't see anything obvious. No copyrights or anything. Maybe in the codes here on the bottom. 2018, is that maybe the manufacturing date? 2018. Let's see, let's look at one that is most likely more recent. Maybe this one. SD. Not sure. I'm sure somebody who's more familiar with Siku can probably tell me how to tell how old these are, if there is a way. Maybe not. Yeah, they don't seem to have any kind of copyright date or anything on the, even on the casting itself, like Hot Wheels does. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm just guessing. This looks to me like maybe it is a little bit older, but I could be completely wrong. It does still have the cast-in license plate, inserted headlights, which looks like they have maybe some paint either on the lenses or behind the lenses. Pretty ugly wheels in reality. It does have lens taillights. The rest of it looks pretty good. Oh, the roof comes off. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's cool. Looks better without the roof, I think. Oh, I don't know. Roof off, roof on. I guess with when the roof is on, I guess the thing that bothers me is missing. It seems like there should be something there, but maybe not. Anyway. All right. So there we go. So this is my first experience with Siku. I'm very happy to have gotten to take a look at these and to finally have some Siku in my collection. And overall, I think they're very nice. If you like, you know, brands like Majorette, or realistically, you know, even Hot Wheels. I mean, you know, Hot Wheels is not the most realistic brand in the world in most cases. And these are just as good, actually probably even better and more accurate than a lot of Hot Wheels, even at the premium level of Hot Wheels. So it's unfortunate that we can't get these easily in the US, but maybe someday that will change. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.